Good morning, everybody. I pray that y'all are doing good. We're going to be jumping into First Kings chapter 9. This is just a bonus teaching. I was originally going to stop First Kings chapter 8, but I'm going to go ahead and expound a bit more because there's a lot that we can learn just from this chapter alone. So the tone of this one is going to be a bit different because the tone that God responded to Solomon was a bit different. Okay, so there's a bit more severity. There's a serious tone to this particular message. So I'm just giving you a heads up in advance. I'm not going to be reading First Kings chapter 9. I've already read it. I'm just going to be going over the lessons, y'all, because again, this is just a bonus teaching, okay? So if you want to go ahead and read First Kings chapter 9, go ahead and jump into it first and then come back to this video, okay? Number one, we learn that God appears again to Solomon, but this time with a warning, not a cloud. So in chapter 8, the Lord filled the temple with a cloud so thick the priests couldn't stand. But in chapter 9, he appears to Solomon privately, and the tone is different. Okay? There is no cloud, no overwhelming glory, only a direct message of instruction and accountability. The glory moment is followed by a responsibility moment, y'all. Okay. So we are seeing here that the glory moment is followed by a responsibility moment. So what does this mean? This is showing us that after God establishes something, he often brings correction to keep the leader aligned. Um, so oftentimes when I hear of people saying they are going from the wilderness now into their promised land, they let it be known that God gave them warning and he gave them instruction for what to do when they do possess the promised land. You're not just going to cross over and you not know what to do after you cross over. Okay. God is making it very clear to Solomon what to do, and he's going to remind him of that obedience here for lesson number two. Okay. So, number two, God reminds Solomon that obedience is the foundation of every promise. So, the Lord tells Solomon that if he walks before him as David did, the throne will be established forever. Okay. So, do what your daddy did, and your throne will be established forever. So, this repeats the covenant given to David, showing that the future of the kingdom rests on faithfulness and not accomplishments. Okay. So, Solomon has been very accomplished, but Solomon also needs to be faithful. So Solomon has built the temple, expanded the kingdom, and achieved greatness, but none of that guarantees the continuation of God's promise. Okay? The foundation is obedience. Loyalty to God is what sustains the covenant. Okay? So Solomon's loyalty must remain with God. Um, if he wants that promise to remain intact, then he is going to remain obedient, right? Number three, turning away brings destruction, not blessing. Let me say it again. Turning away from God brings destruction and not blessing. Okay? The Lord warned Solomon that if he or the people turn to other gods, the consequences will be severe. And for many of you, God is taking you a mighty long way. You ended up going back. It was severe, wasn't it? It was severe. And God doesn't always move quickly to get us out. He'll let us, be where we are for years. And then he'll finally pull us out. So it's very dangerous going backwards when he brought you so far. Okay. So this is why the Lord is warning Solomon that if he or the people turn to other gods, the consequences will be severe. How so? Let's break it down. Israel will be cut off, the temple will be rejected, the nation will become a proverb, the temple will become a ruin. Yep. All those years took, all those years of building that temple. And just like that, you turn away from God, it's ruined. Yeah. Idolatry destroys everything, even things God Himself established. Disobedience has national and generational consequences, and this is why we have to be meticulous. We have to be so careful. Your one wrong decision, you didn't consult God, you did what you wanted to do anyway, and now look at everything that happened as a result. It trickles down now to that next generation. Okay? We don't want to be a generation of disobedience. We want to be a generation of obedience. Okay, we want the blessings from God, not the destruction from God. You understand? Number four, the temple itself can become a testimony of judgment if the people rebel. Okay, the Lord explains that if Israel forsakes him, people will pass by the destroyed temple and ask, why has the Lord done this? Why has the Lord done this? Oh my gosh, this. And the answer will be because they forsook the Lord. It's just that simple. You want to keep what I gave you, remain with me. You want to continue with that blessed life where you have everything you need and more, the land flowing with milk and honey, that's the promised land, remain with me. That's it. Okay? So this means the very place filled with glory in chapter 8 can become a public sign of judgment in chapter 9. God's presence is not tied to buildings, y'all. It is tied to obedience. Obedience. Okay. Number 5, Solomon's building projects show his strength, but they also reveal his burdens. So Solomon builds the temple, his palace, the wall, storage cities, military outposts, chariot cities. He even built his wife her own place. These accomplishments show his greatness, but they also reveal the weight he is carrying. He begins using forced labor for the remaining Canaanite groups, a sign of compromise. Success can become dangerous when it leads to decisions that drift from God's original instructions. Okay? Solomon's achievements are impressive, but cracks are beginning to show. Okay? So he's still a human. Even though he's wise, he's still a human, you know? And even with all the wisdom in the world, it doesn't mean you're always going to make the right decision. Okay? You're going to make choices that are not wise, even though he is wise. And God said he's wise. He blessed him with wisdom. Number 6, Solomon's dealings with Hiram show that even wise men can make poor decisions. And this is where we start to see. mm, just something's a little off here, you know? So Solomon ended up giving Hiram 20 cities in Galilee as part of their partnership. Hiram had supplied Solomon with cedar, cypress, gold, and skilled labor, high valued resources that helped build the temple and the palace. Okay? But when Hiram inspected the cities, he was displeased. And you may be thinking, listen, he gave you 20 cities. Okay? You should be happy. You should be excited. Thank you, Solomon. Woo woo. But he's not. He's displeased. And why? Because when he inspected them, we're going to see what he found. He actually called them Kabul, meaning worthless. So these cities are worthless. They're good for nothing. Okay? These cities were underdeveloped, lacking resources, not strategically valuable, not suitable for trade or agriculture. They did not match the quality of what Hiram gave Solomon. Okay? He gave him the best of the best. The cedar, the cypress, the gold, the skilled laborers. What you need, Solomon, I got you. I'm coming through for you. But when it came time for the exchange, it felt imbalanced, and the gift did not honor the relationship. So we learned that even wise leaders can make decisions that do not reflect their usual discernment. Wisdom must be maintained, and stewardship must be handled carefully. Okay. Number 7, obedience brings blessings, but disobedience becomes visible to all. God can bless your life and you got that nice luxurious car, you got the big house, you got all the wardrobe, the clothes. You look good head to toe. The money's rolling in, and then the obedience will bring you to your destruction. I'm sorry, the disobedience. Obedience will keep all of what I said he blessed you with, but disobedience will cause him to allow all of it to be destroyed. Okay? So the Lord explains that if Israel turns away, the destruction will be so visible that nations will talk about it. So you're going to be the talk of the town. You're going to be the chatter of all the nations. Rebellion will not be hidden, it will be exposed so future generations understand the seriousness of forsaking God. God has to do it because those that are coming after you need to understand the severity of disobeying God, of going your own way, of departing from Him. Public sin leads to public consequences. Okay? Number 8, the covenant is firm, but it is not unconditional. Let me make it clear. Obedience brings establishment, rebellion brings removal. God is always going to keep his part of that covenant. Okay? But at the same time, if you don't remain with him, you're going to lose it. Okay? So I guess I shouldn't say it's not unconditional because God is never going to break his end of the covenant. Okay? So I'll have to, well, I can't reword it now. I mean, it's here, the notes. But basically, y'all, um, God is not being harsh with the people, okay? He's a covenant keeping God. He really does want the best for us, but we also have to want the best for ourselves. We have to obey Him. So He's not being harsh. And I don't want y'all to look at God in a way where it's like, oh my gosh, this is just, you mean, even if I make one mistake, I'm not God. I don't know what'll happen. You know what I'm saying? Like his mercy, now that Jesus came on the scene, is going to be extended. We have more grace, more mercy than what was happening in the uh, New Testament, right? God was really dealing with them quickly. but with us, because of Jesus, we have more grace and more mercy extended upon us. Okay. So again, this is not harshness, it is holiness. The covenant stands as long as the people remain faithful. Okay. So I don't want y'all to think, oh, if they mess up one time, the covenant's gone. The covenant stands, okay, as long as the people remain faithful. God's going to keep his part, but you got to keep yours. But if you enjoy being in captivity, if you enjoy your enemies overtaking you, overpowering you, and possessing the land God gave you, and they're eating of that vine, the vineyard, right? They are wearing your clothing, because again, they have taken you captive. What can you do? Then you're going to stay in disobedience. If you don't like what God gave you and you're not happy about it, um, your enemies will be able to overtake you. You know, if you really want to keep what He gave you, remain with Him. So the Lord is showing Solomon that His promises endure, but His people must endure in faithfulness. And then finally, number 9, this is mercy. The Lord warns before He judges. Okay. The Lord does not wait for Solomon to fall, He warns him before he falls. Warning comes before destruction. Warnings are opportunities to correct the path before consequences come. This is mercy. God gives his people a chance to stay aligned and avoid future destruction. So God is always giving us warning. And you have to know how God speaks to you or you're going to miss it. For some of you, he speaks through your dreams, but some of you, he speaks audibly. Okay? There's various ways God can speak. He can send somebody to warn you. You got to know how he speaks to you and you have to be listening. All right? Because you don't want what he's given you to be destroyed because of your act of disobedience. And oftentimes, when God is sending me to someone, it's a warning. He's sending me in because he's like, okay, you don't want to listen, I'm going to send Daphne in. Okay, you don't want to listen, I'm going to send Roger in. You don't want to listen, I'm going to send Rebecca in. Okay, I'm going to send Molly in. Dolores, Deborah, Nancy, Kathleen, Billy. He's always going to do everything he can to get you to turn. He is not harsh. He is not mean. He is a God of justice, a God of war, a God of wrath, but he is also a God of mercy. Okay? So I hope this is helping y'all on your walk with God. It is so important, y'all, that we stay in right standing with him. Do not go your own way. Do not do your own thing. Keep this Bible close to your heart. Study it and live by it. Okay? Don't be just a hearer of the word. Be a doer of the word. So after you watch this, start to do it. Start your obedience journey now. It's for the entirety of your life. See you on the next video. Hezekiah. Bye bye.